This is how to make your headliner go from this to this. I did not get paid for this. I didn't even pay for the headliner. My brother paid full price. He bought it for my daughter for her birthday. If you're wanting to know whether you should buy it or not, I say absolutely. If you have a factory headliner that's peeling apart like mine is, there's not even a question. All right, to get this review started off, I'd just like to start by saying that I purchased my headliner kit through Hawk Motorsports. Hawk Motorsports is not the actual producer of this headliner kit. It comes from a company by the name of Acme Headlining. I know that because after I made the review, I contacted Hawk Motorsports with the few problems that I had with the review video that I put together and with the thumbnail that I wanted to use, which has their logo on it. I wanted to ask permission before I used it just to make sure. I don't know what the rules are on that, but I felt like it would, be better for everybody involved to have it on there so everybody has a clear understanding of where I purchased from. So that being said, I'd just like to start this by saying I did not receive a discount prior to contacting them. They didn't promise me a discount in the future. Hopefully they will. We'll find out maybe one day. And they did not give my brother a discount, which actually bought it for my daughter for her birthday. So all that being said, I was contacted very quickly back after I made my contact about asking to use their logo. A guy by the name of Seth, that is someone for Hawk Motorsports, contacted me back, and he did point out a couple of things that he thought I should clarify, such as they didn't build the headliner. It is a third-party company that has it, much like everything that we order. If you go to O'Reilly's, you don't buy O'Reilly parts. Most of the time you get AC Delco, or you get the point. So that's where we are with that. I will say shipping was excellent, which I believe is a direct result of how well Hawk Motorsports does. And my response time from Seth was also excellent. I think it took him a day to get back to me. I sent him a 17-minute video he had to watch, which I guess at work, watching a mediocre YouTube review probably wasn't terrible. And some thumbnails just to make sure that they were on par with what their company would accept that somebody used of their image. So Seth also mentioned that he is a Camaro guy, and that's pretty neat. He owns 2 3rd gens. The owner of the company is in the video that they put out for the headliner installation, which is also pretty cool. So everybody's a Camaro enthusiast, it appears, at least at the company. So that's great. I do still have a complaint with the instructions. The video that they put out is for a hard top, so no T-tops, which it is very simple. So I don't want this to sound like I'm that you would have to have it. I just think that it would be a better option to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And then they do have a small written instructions if you're trying to do an overhead console. I don't have that either. So the video on a hardtop installation and the overhead console, neither really are important to me. As far as the review goes, the headliner itself looks great, fits pretty well. There's about a 1/4 inch all the way around the T-tops, where it covers the edge, wider than the factory. It is a hard plastic back headliner, so that part's great. The passenger side sun visor mounting point on the headliner was cut about a 1/4 inch to the inside, so I had to do a little bit of pulling and stretching to get that to fit. We got her did, but it was a little bit of a pain. I think it's probably cut a 1/4 inch out. I don't know that that's a defect in mine or something that they have going. That's just my experience. And then at the back of the headliner, where the rear trim piece covers it up, they have like these cutouts that appear to be for the hatch bolts. And they just, what ends up happening, if you're sitting directly underneath it looking straight up, you can actually see where the trim doesn't cover up all the headliner right there on those two spots specifically. So those are the only issues I had with the headliner. Now, none of these are like don't buy it issues. These are like you can't even tell hardly. I mean, you can't tell at all if I didn't tell you. I can tell because I did it. So, and then the sun visors were perfect. Exactly, just exactly what I had there before. Took off the old ones, put the new ones on. Everything fit exactly how you would expect it. And the cell panels also fit, you know, the shape, the hole that they were made for exactly. My only complaint with them is the backing on those is actually a cardboard or some type of cardboard-like material backing, which caused a small crease in the driver's side. The factory ones are a piece of plastic, kind of the same as the aftermarket headliner, which the factory headliner was like a piece of fiberglass like paper mache. So yeah, that's where we are with that. I think now we should probably cut back to where we were before, and I'm probably going to cut out the parts where I complained about the instructions, and I'll replace the review part with this, and then the rest of it will be, going forwards, will be basically my instructional video on how to disassemble the trim so that you can remove the headliner and reinstall the new one. I hope this helps y'all out. If it does, great. If it doesn't, you know, leave a bad comment or something. And back to the past. All right, let me see if I can do like a 1-minute synopsis of everything you have to do to pull the headliner down and replace all these parts. One, there's a screw on each A-pillar trim piece, and there's 2 body clips pulled down and away from the A-pillar, and the body clip will come off. There's 3 screws holding the sun visors on each side, and then there's 2 trim clips holding the headliner up if it's factory. Moving back, you have your center dome light. Just remove the lens. There's 2 metal clips that hold the dome light up. Pull those clips and then pull the dome light housing off, and then you're free all the way to the back of the headliner. And then in the back there is a screw in each coat hanger. Take those out, and then your cell panels come free. There's a screw in each trim piece on the outside of the car, kind of where the cell panels mount to. You'll need to undo those so that they have some flexibility. And then there's 2 screws holding a little plastic cover for where the third light plugs in. If you don't have a third light, probably won't have that. And then there's 4 screws for the piece of trim going across the back. Once that's all free, all you have to do is pop the little plastic covers for the seatbelt retractors. That'll drop down on the seatbelt itself. The seatbelt will then slide around a slit that's cut in the headliner, and the headliner's free. Pull that sucker out. Hopefully yours doesn't come to pieces and go all over you like mine did. And then to put it back together, you just do the exact thing in reverse. This is how I disassembled the headliner. All right, step 1, remove both of your sun visors. Step 2, remove the A-pillar trim. It's got a single screw on the back, and then it's got a couple of plastic clips down the These plastic clips are rough. Step 3, remove the cell panel. Step 4, remove the B-pillar piece. I don't know, whatever it's called. That one's got 2 screws in it, top and bottom. Step 5, we'll remove this little cover so we can unplug the third light. And then unplug the third light. Alright, step whatever we're at. We'll pull the last 2 screws that I have remaining. Should be 4 screws holding this piece of trim up. And the last step is to remove the... Should have did this before we had this thing cleaned out. But will you get carefully in the drawer behind the fender? There's a drawer that says like pliers and things. We just get a pair of like needle nose.
Like small?
Yeah.
Like these?
Yeah, it'd be perfect. So just take off the cover, and then there's 2 small clips holding it in. And the last thing to do is pop the little plastic cover off the seat belt, and then pull this screw out here. You'll be able to pull this plastic cover down, and then there's a slot in the headliner for the seat belt to go through. So once that's down and this piece is loose, all you gotta do is slide this out. Get all the dust particles in your face as much as possible. Oh my god. This thing came to pieces. It's everywhere. I didn't do a reinstallation video because I felt like once I got it apart, it was so simple. There's only a handful of screws. Everything's Phillips head. That's all you'll need is 1 Phillips head. You might want to use a trim clip removal tool for the A-pillars and the headliner. Past that, everything else runs back together exactly the way you took it apart, but with the new piece. I do think I failed to record how to remove the sun visor. So if you look on this end, there's a hole and it looks like it can clamp down, and that's literally what it does. This Phillips head screw right here, tighten it, it squeezes tight. Loosen it and it loosens up. The new ones are very tight. Be careful not to back that screw out too far. Once it's loose, it's loose. You just have to, I took a screwdriver, put it in the end of it, tweaked it back and forth a couple times, stuffed it on there, tightened it back up. It really is self-explanatory, but I thought I might just give you all that heads up. Oh, and the Hawk Motorsports did not have this hole. Actually, I cut this one out larger just to make sure I wasn't going to tear anything up on the new one. So I just took a knife and cut a small hole so I could get the rod for the sun visor in there without the fabric bunching up around it. I do not think that Hawk Motorsports had to have an installation video or instruction manual to go with this. It is quite simple. I just think that maybe there's a couple of lessons and experience that maybe they could have given to help minimize damaging the cell panels whenever you install them. Everything else went in exactly as expected. I don't really think you even need to watch this video on how to do this, but I hope it helps if you did need to. If you are considering doing this, but you're worried you don't have the capacity, the fact that you're considering doing it, I already believe you have the capacity. If you have a Phillips screwdriver and you're mildly confident you have some kind of ability to maintain a car, 100% you can do this installation in 40 minutes, something to that effect. I think I did mine, you know, maybe in an hour, and I was videoing, stopping. We have kids, you know, so kids were coming out and talking to me. It's not a challenging setup at all. Second set of hands will help you though. So get your buddy, buy him a couple beers, you know, get one of your kids, don't buy them beer, you know, just teach them some stuff about cars. If there's anything out there that y'all'd like me to review, comment it. I'm all for it. I think we're just getting started on this car, so thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.